and Metta means loving kindness, unconditional love, amity, interest in humanity. And I was like, hey, that's me. That's definitely the thing that I'm doing. So Metta healing got born that way. I was doing my healing sessions at Four Seasons, Six Senses, Absolute Sanctuary, New Body and Mind.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with David. How are you, David?
I'm very good.
Very nice.
good. Okay.
So David is originally from Serbia and is an energetic healer. He develops his own healing modality called Metta healing,
Yes.
and he received this gift as a child.
It all started happening when I was a year or 5, 6. I was a child. I started seeing, feeling, experiencing things that many people around us don't see. I've been suppressing the gift for many years. I've been doing things. I was always very tall. I'm like 2'7", 6'9".
Wow.
And people would always say like, oh, you're tall, you should be playing basketball. So I started playing basketball. I started doing a lot of things in my life. I was always suppressing my gift until I became a year of 40. And then I started accepting what I can do. And in the last 6 years, I'm actually healing and Metta healing got born actually. I've done several Vipassana meditation retreats. During those meditation retreats, I did as well the Metta meditation. Throughout my life, when I would be touching people around me, family members or friends, people would ask me like, what is this feeling that I feel in my body? And I never really understood what they were feeling because they would feel a lot of energy going apparently through their body. And I always said it's love because I love you. And when I came to Thailand and I had to give my healing sessions a name, if I would call it love healing, people can see it like in many different ways. And I don't give any romantical, no sexual, no nothing like that, but it's the purest energy from the heart. And since I've done many Vipassana meditation retreats as well, the Metta meditation, I found myself in the word Metta. And Metta means loving kindness, unconditional love, amity, interest in humanity. And I was like, hey, that's me. That's definitely the thing that I'm doing. So Metta healing got born that way.
Very nice. I met David when I was working in Orion in Koh Samui. And you were the main healer, or like the full-time healer there.
Yeah.
And I remember you were there for a few months. And yeah, many people would have sessions with you, and indeed I would ask the guests, how was the experience, etc. So yeah, very interesting, because indeed, energy or energetic healing is something that people need to experience to really understand, right? It's very difficult to explain it in words, what happens to you when you're having such an individual, conscious experience of being in the presence of somebody that uses techniques to open energy fields, or the chakra system. So depending on the type of energy healing that you do, obviously, right?
Yeah. So it actually depends from person to person, and I can give people in advance already like a feeling like, oh, this is gonna happen to you, or that's gonna happen to you. But the moment that you have too much information, what might happen to you, the moment that you're gonna lie down over there, because the session is 90 minutes. In the 90 minutes, we are working 60 minutes. 60 minutes, you're going to be lying down in Shavasana, basically on your back with your hand pumps preferably up and your legs slightly apart. Never touch the breast area, not from the man, not from the woman. I always ask for permission if the person is allowing me to place my hands on their body. If and when someone doesn't want it, it can be a negative experience throughout life, a trauma. It can be you just don't want to be touched. Doesn't matter what the reason is. But if someone says like you can touch me, then I will touch everything in between the breasts and the genitals. And when I say between the legs, my hands will be like on a distance between the legs to feel what is happening in the lower parts. Where was I?
Boundaries, yeah. I think you're describing very well, having very strong boundaries with clients and communicating with them, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm always communicating with the people. So the session is like 90 minutes, 60 minutes of work and 30 minutes for the feedback in the end.
Ah, so you have a conversation with them as well, so they can talk?
Yeah, because I connect with the subconsciousness. So the moment that I start working with a person, the moment that you come already into the room and I'm looking at you, I read you actually already. I'm seeing a lot of things without actually sharing it with you. But the moment that someone is choosing to do the healing, then I'm reading directly. When I'm walking on the street, I can read as well, but I actually prevent myself from it because I don't want to be too much involved with people. When you come into the room, I feel already what is happening and I'm already sharing certain things. Everything what is happening inside of the person, what is happening inside of your body, I can feel in my own body like it's happening with me. So I don't have an ovary, but when a woman is having problems in the ovary area, I can feel the blockage either in the left or on the right side of the ovary or the uterus. So I can feel the emotions and the sensations in my own body. When you lay down, then I'm placing my hands on your head in a certain position. And then I'm actually tapping into your subconscious mind. And what I'm actually doing, I'm reading your subconscious mind, I'm connecting the head with the body, I'm removing energy blockages within the body. And in the end of the session, I'm bringing you to an awareness what is happening in your head and why there are certain problems that you're experiencing in your body as well.
You know, what you're saying that you're meeting people, you can already read them. I mean, I did a course in neuro-linguistic programming where they teach you how to kind of read the body language of people. So the type of reading that you do with people, is it more like a body language, posture, kind of, or is there something more, something deeper, like more of an energetic field you feel, right?
I feel the energetic field. So very often already when I look the person in the eyes, from the eyes I can feel what is happening. So when I'm doing the session and the person is lying on the back, then I'm looking at the body, how is the body standing in which position. I can see where the blockage is happening, but mostly it's happening through the eyes. Sometimes, let me say it like this, I enter a room and I already can feel what is happening in the area. It's on an energetical base that I can feel what is happening with a person.
You know, I think to a certain extent, everybody can feel the vibration or the vibe or the atmosphere a little bit. But of course, to have this skill of having an enhanced awareness of the vibration or the resonance in a specific place or within a person, that's an amazing gift indeed. You know, if you can just intuitively empathize with people and feel if they're having some issues or some problems. And I suppose, you know, that's a gift that you can indeed develop, and it's a wonderful thing to have in life, indeed. It's something that I've been, you know, trying to develop myself over the years, but it's, I suppose I'm just a normal person, so I think as I become more aware, so more like practice I do, like meditation, yoga, I read more as well, etc. And I try to be more present in the moment. I tend to also feel a little bit more, you know, the vibe and the vibration of the others. But for you, this thing was given, and there is a specific moment when you were a child, when you realized that. You said 5, 6 years old. Is there anything in particular that you said, okay, this is strange, I mean, or this is amazing?
It would happen that I'm sitting, for an example, at home on the couch, and that I'm just seeing that someone is passing by while there is nobody at home. The dog that we had at the time would have been responding to that movement which was happening. Then I walk away from the living room to see if someone isn't at home, but nobody is over there. Then I come back to the living room and I see like the couch being pressed in, like someone is sitting and the dog is next to me and he was like showing his teeth. So he was also sensing someone. When I was younger, I would have been sharing with my parents what I saw. My mother was always like quite afraid of those things, even though that she is a very good tarot card reader. And
okay.
So it's actually something what is going on in the family. My sister was also gifted to do these things as my mother did. I've been sharing with my parents in the past what I was able to do, and because my mother was always very afraid of spirits or dead people or other energies, what she could not see, she was always asking me not to speak about it. So I was always like pushing it away. And my father has been sharing similar things to mine, but also he was not very much going into it. About the thing what you said, that everybody has the ability to do something with energy or to sense some kind of emotions or feelings. Definitely, I do definitely believe that everybody is able to develop something like that. The most important thing is actually you have to believe in it. And if you're just going to say, I believe that there is something, but you're not really feeling it within yourself, it's going to stay for a very long time away from you. Over the years, many people have come to me asking me if I can teach them about the things that I'm doing, but I don't know how to teach someone how to feel. For an example, if you have, I'm not reading you now, I'm not busy with that, but let's say you have a certain problem in your body, I don't know how to teach you how to feel that in your own body. So let's say, I'm not saying it's like that, yeah? So let's say there is a pain in your right shoulder and I feel the pain in my right shoulder. I don't know how to explain to you to understand that it's coming from the other person. I don't know how to explain to you how you have to feel other people's problem in your own body. This is something what came throughout the years, and because I always knew that I can do certain things with my hands, with my mind, I was always saying like I want it more and give it more, and I know it's there and I want to be aware of what is there. So I was always asking and willing and digging, and I was also for many years seeking as well for teachers, for people who were able to guide me or to teach me certain things, but I never really found a teacher.
You know, I had a injury in my right shoulder for like 10 years now, and it's kind of 90% solved. But when I get stressed, it surfaces again. But yeah, it's very interesting what you're saying, indeed. You know, and it's a shame in a way that you cannot teach people, because I think these things are very good, right? And we need more people that are teachers and healers and therapists, and that can help people, you know, make sense of their emotions as well as solve some physical problems. Indeed. So I know that you've been in Koh Phangan now for a few years, right? So you were in Samui first, and then when did you move to Koh Phangan?
I first came on holiday to Koh Phangan. I stayed here for 4 months. Then I went back to Europe because my visa expired and I didn't know where to go. So I'm born and raised, actually. You said Serbian. Yes, my roots are Serbian, but I'm born and raised in Amsterdam.
Okay.
I lived my whole life in Amsterdam until 2012, and then I moved to the southern part of the Netherlands, to Tilburg. I lived over there together with my ex-fiancée. Then I actually was working for 15 or 20 years in the real estate, insurance companies. I knew that there was an energy, so I wanted to work for the law enforcement. So I started working in the prison in the Netherlands, and more with people with psychological problems. People who have been doing abusers, sexual abusers, physical abusers, murderers, many different areas. And then I ended up in a deep burnout. And then I ended up actually separating from my partner at the time, and I ended up in Thailand, 4 months Koh Phangan, 4 months Koh Phangan, a little bit Vietnam, a little bit Burma, because I went for a Vipassana meditation retreat in Panditarama in Yangon. And then I went back to Amsterdam. I stayed 24 hours over there, and I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't belong here. I belong on an island. I belong in a smaller society, but I did not see my pathway to come back to Thailand. So I went to Serbia, and I was like, hey, I'm going to stay and live over here. And then I was like 3-4 weeks in Serbia, and then I went back to the Netherlands, and then back to Serbia, and I was like going in between those two countries, and I never really felt nowhere at home. And then I suddenly said to all my friends and family members, like, hey, I'm going back to Thailand. I'm going to do a 3 weeks Vipassana silent meditation retreat in Koh Phangan. Then I came to Koh Phangan and I stayed. I met my ex-partner. She and I stayed together in Koh Phangan for 7 months. Then she and I moved to Koh Samui for 2 years. She and I separated, and I came back to Koh Phangan, and now I'm actually living in Koh Phangan 2.5 years, something like that. And myself not being vaccinated because I was working until COVID for several locations in Koh Samui. I was doing my healing sessions at Four Seasons, Six Senses, Absolute Sanctuary, New Body and Mind. But because I chose not to be vaccinated, I'm not able to go back anymore to Four Seasons. So I'm offering my healing sessions actually now here in Koh Phangan, and let's see how the future is going to be.
Indeed, indeed. And it's interesting you're saying that you were in between Serbia and the Netherlands and you didn't feel home anywhere, but because you wanted a smaller society, you said, right?
Yeah.
So I think there is some sort of appeal in people like us, you know, being international in nature and wanting to be amongst other international people, but in a context of more of a town or a village where you can get to know people a little bit more. There is connection with nature, and particularly a place where the value system and the way of living is not completely mainstream in a way, right?
Thailand is a bubble. Koh Phangan is a bubble in a bubble.
Yeah, sure.
Sri Tanu is a bubble in a bubble in a bubble. And one moment that you get in the bubble, in the bubble, in the bubble, it's very difficult to get out of the bubble, you know? So Koh Phangan is actually offering many different things. It's nature. It's a lot of nature. I live already for a couple of years now here, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, already for 5 years. But if I have to tell you honestly, in those last 5 years, I've been maybe like 10 times, 20 times, I'm not sure, in the ocean. I'm more a person who should belong, actually, who should live in a mountain, forest, rivers, wilderness, but still, it's difficult to leave this island, and it can be because of the community, it can be because of the society, it can be because everything is very much mixed together here. Like for an example, last night I was in a sauna and people were talking about it, and someone said like moving to Mexico, and this guy was like, no, I'm not gonna go to Mexico because he's Mexican. And he said like, I'm very happy here. And then someone said like, going back to your own place. And then someone said like, but everybody who is living in Koh Phangan doesn't want to live in their own place where they come from. So basically, people are coming all together here who should maybe share their lives together, live together and live in some kind of community where there is a support and everything going on. So Koh Phangan is something that everybody should check out. And I'm quite sure if you would come one time here, if you connect, you don't want to leave anymore. But if you come one time and you don't connect, you're probably never going to come back anymore. So yeah, yeah.
It suits a certain personality for sure. You know, you need to be open to, you know, going beyond science sometimes. You know, with regards to energy healing, we've been talking about. You need to be into kind of yoga, holistic therapies, this kind of like a more, you know, holistic lifestyle, I think. And because the people also here are quite New Age. I love the word New Age myself. You know, many people see it as a derogatory name, whilst the New Age for me is beautiful because the New Age movement, you know, is the hippies movement, is the civil rights movement in the US, many things. And the New Age means bringing different classical and traditional teachings and kind of blend them in a way that suits you as an individual, which I think is beautiful. And Koh Phangan is very much a place for that. So that's why I'm very grateful that I found it.
Yeah.
Well, David, thank you very much for your chat today. And yeah, so very nice to get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you.